Let's just say this is like the USDC vault. And this is what we call the Moonwell flagship USDC vault. And it's been live on Base, I think, since June of last year. And this is a nice way that people that are new to DeFi or people that just want to earn on their stablecoins can deposit into this vault. And, we have some products that make this really easy. For example, that virtual accounts feature, when you receive fiat in your bank account, it automatically turns into USDC in your wallet on Base. If it's in Coinbase wallet, it's automatically earning that, basic APY that I think Coinbase wallet pays anyone that holds USDC in their wallet. But you might want to earn a higher APY by lending it out to borrowers on Morpho, specifically borrowers on the Coinbase Borrow product, right? That are borrowing against their Coinbase Bitcoin or borrowing against their Bitcoin on Coinbase. There's an isolated market here that sits above this that is operated by, well, it's actually immutable. And these are actually quite nice because they are immutable contracts, unlike these upgradable contracts, which are created by anyone through the Morpho factory contracts. Okay, I'll call this the CBBTC USDC market. The vaults basically supply into that, the vaults deposit into that and other markets. And there's a risk curator that can deposit into multiples. But as a user, lender or borrower, you basically can just simply deposit as a user. This is probably better to just call this supply. But as a user, you deposit into the vault, and then the vault provides the borrowable USD coin for Coinbase Bitcoin borrowers or anyone on the Base network. It's a decentralized ecosystem. And so I'll just say deposit. And this gives you a nice way to just simply single-sided deposit your USD coin, not even really think about it, and then earn an interest borrowing rate or whatever. Also, this could be supplying into other markets. Let me just draw another one like CBETH USDC. And these vaults are very flexible. We have a risk curator, Block Analytica and B protocol that curates risk on these vaults that actually just decides how much are we supplying to the CBBTC market, how much are we supplying to the CBETH market, and other markets, blue chips like maybe staked ETH and Rocket Pool ETH. And our vaults only supply into blue chip markets, with the exception of the Frontier vault, the CBBTC vault, which is supplying into Lombard Bitcoin. So that one is a little bit higher risk profile. But these vaults basically supply into those Morpho isolated markets. What's really cool about this is that we earn a performance fee. Our risk curator does, and we also share that as a Moonwell protocol. So you might ask, why does Moonwell want to supply into Morpho markets? It's because 15% of the interest earned by vault curators gets sent back into this USDC market on Base as extra protocol revenue. So we have this kind of fee splitter contract where it sends every time, I think the risk curator, let's just call this split 50-50. You can see the contract on chain. Once a week or whenever the risk curator wants to get paid for, managing risk on the vault, managing those supply caps, trying to optimize risk reward by not supplying into two degen markets, but getting a better interest rate than what you would get as the risk-free rate. They split that 50-50, and some of it goes to our market as protocol revenue, and then 50-50 goes to their income address. I'll just call it risk curator. That's kind of how we provide the borrowable liquidity for other products like Coinbase Bitcoin Borrow and to people just in the isolated Morpho markets ecosystem. And like I said, those are immutable. They're really cool because even the Morpho DAO can't rug you, because once you deploy one of these things, you basically set a collateral asset, a borrowable asset, a loan to value, which in the case of this, I believe is 83%. I might be wrong, but that's the rules of the road. And that market will exist as long as Ethereum and Base exist, which is basically forever because it's the world computer. There is also a Chainlink price feed that you define when you create the market. But that's what's cool about these is they're more like Uniswap markets where they're immutable, they're permissionless, anyone can deploy them with any two tokens.